Hi everybody, happy Saturday. I am going to be showing you guys how to set up Eve in Microsoft Azure cloud platform. I originally started setting up Eve on my laptop, then I moved to an actual piece of hardware that I bought for it. But that's being utilized by a couple other friends for some more beefy lab purposes. So I wanted to find a way that I could have a stable Eve VM set up in the cloud, accessible from everywhere, to run some pretty lightweight route switch topologies. So I wanted to go ahead and make this information available to you guys. I know a lot of you are probably pretty smart on the server side, but maybe just haven't touched Azure, or maybe you're new to this altogether. But either way, I just wanted to make a quick video to sort of walk you guys through how to do it. So here we go. So I will walk you guys over to, well, let's just look it up. So go to Google and search up Azure. As you can see here, it says My Account, Portal, Sign In. If you guys don't have one already, you'll go to Free Account. And then right here in the middle of the page, you'll Start for Free. And it's going to ask you to sign in or sign up if you already don't have a Microsoft account. So you'll either need to create one, or you can sign up with your current one. So I'll let you guys take care of that. I just wanted to show you where to find that free sign up for the portal. So after you have your Microsoft account, anyone can log in. You'll just be able to sign in here up at the top right corner, and I'll go ahead and do that for you guys, and then I'll show you from there. So I'm signed in, and then you're going to go ahead and click on Portal. So this is the Microsoft Azure dashboard. As you can see, it has a lot of different options. It can be pretty intimidating. I started off with my sort of cloud expertise being in AWS, but I've tried to deploy a couple different things in AWS that weren't really giving me the functionality that I was looking for. So I ventured out and started looking at the Azure platform, and it's been working out for the Eve use case, so I like it a lot. It's pretty clean. So I'm going to go click on Virtual Machines. And as you guys can see, I already have one running. This is the one that I use for the demo, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to add another one. Now, just a quick bit of information. When you sign up, you actually get $200 for free to use as part of your free trial, and then after that, Microsoft Azure extends some resources that you can still spin up on a free trial basis. But you can pretty much spin up whatever you want, and you have that $200 free credit, so that's pretty nice. So for Eve, we're going to go ahead and add a virtual machine. And you see here a couple things, pretty straightforward. Subscription, we're going to leave that on free trial. We can leave the resource group the same. That's sort of like a VPC for you AWS guys. And let's go ahead and name this something. So we'll just name it Azure Eve. Azure Eve. Sounds good. We'll leave it in East US. We're going to look for Ubuntu Server 1604. And let's go ahead and do a D2S v3. That's what I have my other one running on. But how did I come to that image type, right? Because there's tons of different image types, and for all its different lab purposes, you might need a different need a different size to run certain different images and stuff. So I just looked up into the documentation on creating a nested virtualization capable Azure VM, and basically all the v3 images support it. So you can dig down into the different sizes and search up and see if those resource requirements that specific VM is gonna support it. But all the v3 ones that have v3 in the title are gonna support it. So we're gonna go ahead and leave it at this one. This gives us 2 vCPUs. Sorry, I got a Lisp. Got Invisalign. And 8 gigs of memory. So that should be good. Guys, just to keep things really basic, we're going to take off SSH public key and just use a username and password. So for the purposes of this, I'll go ahead and make the username Eve. And then I think that the password has to be pretty complex. I think it's like 12 characters. Yeah, so it says must have a lowercase letter, one uppercase letter, one number, and one special character. And the value must be 12 characters long. So I'll go ahead and match that up. Okay, cool. We're all green. For public inbound ports, we're going to want to be able to connect to this bad boy. So let's go ahead and fire up HTTP, HTTPS, and SSH. We're going to need SSH in order to connect to it and add images and do the initial Eve setup. So that's going to be pertinent. We'll go over, we'll just walk through. We won't save that. We can leave all this the same. This is a pretty easy setup, guys. You know, we don't really need to get too far into the weeds. It assigns it a public IP automatically, so that's good. We can leave all that stuff. We've already identified the inbound ports that are allowed. Accelerated networking and load balancing, we can keep those the way they are. Let's see. Yeah, all the management stuff, go ahead and keep that the same. This is going to be super easy. And we'll go over to review and create. And as long as it is approved, after the final validation, we can go and create. So it looks like it's passed, and we will go ahead and create. Okay, so the deployment is underway. So we'll go back to home and virtual machines, and we should see this coming up, but we'll go ahead and click on the actual VM page to take a look. So it looks like it already has an IP address, which is good. And don't worry, I am going to take this down before I post the video, so none of you guys can hack into my new VM image. So we'll go ahead and copy that to the clipboard, and we will see if this bad boy is ready to log into. It should be. Alright, so we'll just fire up a quick little putty session. We will take that IP address and go ahead and open up an SSH connection to it. So we are going to go ahead and trust this. Hit yes, and we are ready to log in. So guys, just to remember, we're going to log in with those credentials that you just created. So when I told you to move it from SSH public key to password authentication, this is the credentials that I'm talking about right here that we're going to log in for the initial time. And we're going to log in with that 12 character password. Cool beans. So as you can see, the host name is just the username, or the host name is the VM name that we created in Azure, and then the username is what we just created for the authentication. So in order for Eve to work, we are going to have to change some things. So it's not a lot of things, but it's a nice little list. So I've put together a little list to keep us organized, and I'm going to bring that up here, and we're just going to follow along. I want to make this as simple as possible, and if you guys want to message me for this list, or you can access it online, the actual how-tos for Eve, but this should do it. Okay, so it says the first step is root up. Okay, and then we are going to change the password for the root user and make it something that you will definitely remember, or else you will be locked out. And we are going to do a text editor install. It looks like it's already been installed, so that's good. That's nano. We're going to need that to edit some files. So the first one that we're going to edit is actually the host name, because we need it to be eveng. So as you can see here, you can just go over, delete that, and then you're going to hit Control O to write it. You're going to hit Enter to save it, and you see it says wrote one line, and then Control X to exit. And that's how you write and exit the Nano text editor. The next one that we are, and actually guys, I know what you guys are thinking, you didn't actually change the host name, but it actually will change on the next reboot. So the next one we're going to do is the host file. So nano etc hosts, and looks like we already have the first line, so we're going to head and add the second line. And write that, exit. Okay. And now we are going to need the root user to be able to SSH in, and that is disabled by default. So we are going to edit the SSH config. And we are going down until we see permit root login, and right now you can see it's set to prohibit password authentication. So that would be a problem, and we're just going to change that to yes. Control O, write, and exit. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and restart the SSH service. Cool. Now we need to exit this terminal and go back and grab that IP. We're going to open up another PuTTY session, only this time we're going to log in as a root user. Okay, so we are in as root. We have full control. We're going to do some editing of the grub configuration. And update the grub. We have to add the network interface name to the interfaces file. And you can see these are set to loopback, so they need to be ETH0 in order for ETH to work. We can change loopback into ETH0, and then also we want this to be set up to DHCP, guys, because Azure is going to hand it that management address, or that reachable address. So we're going to need that to happen back in. So Control O to write, enter, and exit. And we are going to do a reboot. Ooh, reboot. Okay, reboot. So we're gonna lose connection for a second. And guys, they've actually made this pretty easy. After that comes back, all we're gonna do is this one command, and this is gonna install all of the EVE-ng packages that are necessary to run Eve. After that, you'll be able to access the web GUI. So let's go ahead and copy this address again back to my clipboard. We should be able to log back in here shortly. It might take a few seconds. And if it doesn't, guys, I will definitely fast forward this. All right, here we go. Oh, that is the wrong clipboard item. Okay, so we need to take this wget command here to download the packages. Cool. Looks like we're in the Matrix right now. I know. It's a lot of stuff. But pretty simple, I think, as long as you have the right directions. And while this is going on, I can actually show you guys where to get all of those directions. So if you actually just type in evetechng.net, that will bring you to the home page of EveNG. And they have a bunch of information about all their future releases. They have some client packs that you guys can download for PuTTY and other client type software that you would need to connect to your instances. But here you're going to come to documentation, and for installation for the Azure instance, I use the bare install since we are starting from a point of Ubuntu 16.04. And that's what you need for the first step. So you guys can actually go ahead and skip through all of this stuff, right? Because you're starting off with that Eve VM after this video, and we're bypassing all of this stuff right here. So this is what we're actually doing right here, is all of those directions are right here. Pretty straightforward. So as long as you follow along, you should be good to go. Just make sure that you actually skip over the professional version stuff and don't install any of the Dockers. So let's go ahead and take a look and see if this thing is making any progress. Alright guys, it looks like it's finished up. So we're going to go back here. After that is complete, the next step was to reboot. So alright, so we're back. Guys, this is a really important part. So we're going to type the root password in. We're going to repeat it. We can leave this as evetechng. We can leave the DNS name alone for now. Make sure this is DHCP. And what is this? NTP, we can leave that. Direct connection. And we should lose connection right now because we're creating some SSH keys. So this was expected. We will give it like 1 second. It'll come right back up and we'll be able to connect in. And at that moment in time, guys, I think we will be ready to connect to our new Microsoft Azure cloud instance of EveNG. And that's pretty exciting. I will go ahead and try to restart this. And let's see if we're ready to connect. This was so exciting when I first got it to work. And it doesn't look like it's ready, but when I first got this to work, it was pretty exciting because I knew that I was going to have a reliable lab that I could get to from anywhere. Here we go, guys. So we'll go ahead and cache that. We'll log in. And we are ready to rock. So guys, we'll go back to the Azure dashboard. And I want to show you guys something first. So right now we could just go to this IP address. We could just type that into our browser and we could get to this EVM no problem. But I wanted to show you guys something. So if you guys don't feel like remembering this, or you're going to share the instance with other people or whatever, you can go right in here after you click on the actual IP address itself, and you guys, as long as it's a unique name across the resource group in Azure, you can set it up to be whatever you want. So we're going to set up this to be Azure Eve. Let's just set it up to be, let's something simple. So Eve 123. Okay. So it'll go ahead and validate that. You'll get this green check if that's unique across the resource group for East US, and we will save. And as soon as those take effect, we should be ready to rock, guys. So Eve 123. So we'll open up another tab and we will go Eve 123.eastus.cloudapp.azure.com. And we are here. So here's your web GUI. Here's everything we just set up. Pretty cool. So we're going to log in. The default credentials is admin Eve to get into the web GUI. And you are in the file manager. From here, you can check things like system status, which is showing you your resource utilization. your user management, where you can create other admins or other users, people that you want to provide access to. But from the main folder, you would go in and create add lab, and we will call this Azure Eve test. Save. And we'll go and open up the sandbox. And let me move this over just a tad. Cool. So from here, guys, we'll be able to add all of our objects, all of our pictures, all of our boxes and circles and cool nodes. And I can go over for a second and show you all the supported images. The images are going to be up to you to provide, and I can definitely add another video to show you guys how to get your images squared away in your EveNG server. But a little bit of Googling will help you. But if you go back to the Eve page, under their documentation, they have a comprehensive list of all their supported images for the Community Edition. So these can be things like Dynamips images for Cisco emulation, IOL, which is iOS on Linux. These are going to be things that are for Cisco internal use only. So, you know, whatever you guys are doing, make sure you're following the rules. I don't want anyone to get in trouble with Cisco. But here are all the QEMU versions that Eve supports. So if you're able to, you know, legally get your hands on any of these images for test and evaluation, I encourage you to do so. It's a pretty long list, and you can build a pretty comprehensive lab environment with this. They also have how-to videos and how-tos for most, if not all, of the image types that will walk you through step by step on how to prepare the image and how to import it into your EVM and how to get it spun up. So guys, I just wanted to thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope it helped you guys out. Have a good one.